Well, this the women's 59 kilo competition, and on stage now the European champion Jajana Kirillova of Bulgaria. This her third attempt in the snatch at 90 kilos. 22 years of age. Tall and powerful and very solid, and delighted with 3 very positive lifts. Well, under many circumstances, Kirillova would have been the gold medalist. But while she and the other competitors, 7 of them at least, were competing intensely, there was one lifter number 9, who'd sat in the wings and watched all the performances. Her name, Fei Zhu of China. The 19-year-old replacement, not only for the world champion of last year, but also the world record holder. Zhu coming on stage, this time for her second attempt at 92.5 kilos, the first visit to the platform a failure, but this, if successful, to take the gold medal in the snatch. This time the technique gathered together 3 white lights and the gold medal. 2 lifts, cool as a cucumber, and backstage to prepare for an attempt on the world record. Lovely, one flowing movement. And really gets under quickly and establishes the feet. Zhu not wasting any time, straight onto the platform.
One moment, please. 2. Yes. Little. Give me.
And then just the very thing that no lifter wants, an interruption to check whether the weights on the bar were correct.
And half.
That's right. Now having to show the discs to the center referee.
And 1 kilogram. 1 kilo is good. Good.
All okay, but Zhu taking it all in her stride. Are you ready for me now? And straight to the bar. And a world record, just underlining how much strength and depth these Chinese women lifters have. And it's going to take good weightlifters to depose them of these titles next year when the World Championships are hosted by the Chinese. Chinese with most of their lifters from last year's World Championships and also the Asian Games in Hiroshima not here, but their substitutes are certainly world class. 123 kilos above her head, a new world record in the clean and jerk to emphasize her superiority and China's superiority in this category of 59 kilos, just over 9 stone 2.5 pounds. Zhu Fei, just 19 years of age, still a junior. Back at the women's competition this afternoon, that's the 64 kilos, whilst the men prepare. Well, on stage now, this is the 25-year-old Hungarian, Zabet Marcus for Hungary. This is her third attempt at 92.5 kilos. She's looked very good on the first two lifts at 85 and 90. And this to dominate all but one of the other competitors. And the European silver medalist overall, who took the gold in the snatch section of that competition in Rome earlier this year, completing a very, very solid set of snatches, and delighted. So Marcus leads 6 of the other lifters, but one lifter, of course, yet to make her appearance, and that's the world champion Hong Young Lee. And here she is, just 18 years of age, representing China. Won the title in Melbourne and lifted 102.5 kilos. This her entry weight, 95 kilos, and if she does this, she'll take the gold. Absolutely no problem. Economy of time, economy of effort, and a very smooth gold medal. Little bow to the jury. Well, this young woman was a runaway winner last year, taking 6 gold medals. And the thoughts are that she might lift a total of 240 kilos today. But here she comes, second lift in the snatch, and this for a new world record, to take the record away from her teammate Lei Li, who lifted 103.5 in Hiroshima a month ago. Just establish the bottom position, and then up with the second phase, and 1.5 kilos more than the previous record for Hong Young Lee. And now one more chance after this lift. The bar nicely centered. And straight up. So now the weight on the bar, well, there's the snatch record of 103.5. That's now out of date. And there might be 1 or 2 other of those records that will go before the afternoon's over. But here's Lee again, 107.5 kilos on the bar. So this is a 4 kilo increase. And they've talked about this young woman lifting 145 kilos last year back home in the snatch, so this would be a workout, but it isn't a workout when it's a championship. But it's a disappointment, but not a really damaging one. And she takes the snatch gold medal. Well, that's the so to the jerk. Lee Hong Young really dominating this competition. 130 kilos on the bar. The record Lee Lei's set a year ago in Shillong. This lift for 2 records, the jerk and the total. Oh, she's in a class of her own. And so 3 gold medals to Lee Hong Young of China. So Chinese women really dominating as we expected. They've yet to make their breakthrough in the men's categories, but when they compete in any of the women's classes, really, they are something special. More after this break. The women's 70 kilo or 11 stone category, 154 pounds. And coming onto stage, the first of the two Chinese lifters entered. Unusual for the Chinese to enter two in any one category, but this is Li Hua Qiu. Her second lift, and he's beaten off everybody else. $97.5, a good lift for her. Short of the world record, but good enough for the gold medal. Keeps the lift moving really nicely. And that turned out to be good enough to take the gold medal, although she tried for a new world record of 103, didn't quite make it. And so to the snatch, with the other Chinese lifter, Zhu, taking over the center of the stage. Maihong Zhu, this her second lift, 128.5 kilos, looking for a world record to take over that title from her teammate Wei Fang Tang, who'd set 128 in the Asian Games in Hiroshima a month ago. This for the overall as well as the clean and jerk gold. Much more suited to the clean and jerk. Zhu making no mistake on her second lift. And the Chinese lifters not bothering, neither Zhu nor Li Hua Qiu, to take a third lift, leaving Zhu with 2 golds and Li Hua Qiu with 1. The silvers going to Wasana Punchakan in the snatch, Maihong Zhu taking the bronze in the snatch. And overall, Zhu the gold, the silver to Qiu, and the bronze Sana Punchakan of Thailand. Still on 85 kilos, Stacey's third and last attempt. And there are still some very experienced lifters to make their first appearance here. Albina Komic, Panyota Antonopoulou for Greece, Maria Takash, and the Nigerian lifter as well, Ruth Ogwitio.
Yes, if you just look at Stacey's left hand, very heavily taped, indicating that perhaps in the warm-up or in the training room she will have torn some skin off the palm of her hand. But 3 red lights, and the best weight that she can carry forward to the total, 80 kilos. That is 2.5 more than her world ranking weight. I think she'll be a little disappointed not getting the 85. Again, strength not really the problem, and emphasizing the point that was brought out earlier, that weightlifting is more than just strength. You have to be able to put the weight in the right place, and you have to be able to do that consistently.
Now, real pressure now for Lin. 2 failures. If she misses this, she can't go for a total. Now, is that acceptable? Yes, it is. And she'll be breathing out with a big sigh of relief. And I think her coaches will have had a severe word with her before that. Maybe nerves.
It just goes to show the mental side of weightlifting is all important.
Now, the second of the Americans, Arlise Johnson. In the 70 kilo class, Arlise was, or is, I should say, ranked just about 11th. The body weight for her now 75.68.
And I believe this equals her best in the 70-kilo class. And the buzzer signalling to put the weight down. A definite press out on the right arm. And if we look on the slow motion, you'll see the arm unlocks and then locks. So she'll have to take 87.5 for her third.
Now Monica Carrillo, she's lifted 87.5, did that in Rome in the Europeans.
Yes, and interesting that she's wearing gloves. I knew that it was allowed, but I don't think I've ever seen it done before. Well, she dropped that from overhead, and I would guess that that's why she had the one red light. And if we watch, she puts the weight down. Must keep your hands on the bar. And she let go of that a little bit too soon. But 2-1 decision.
She gets the 87.5, she'll be pleased with that. Now Arlise for her last lift.
Yes, she really needs to get a bit more height on that bar.
Now.
Well, it's obviously not her go.
Little constellation. Just pulled her back. Just over 30 seconds.
So really needs to concentrate on the first lift. Which she does.
And the right arm this time stays locked. Little bow to the judge who red lighted her before. And she gets the 87.5.
That's right, good extension in the first phase. And this time, the bar going straight to arm's length.
The weight increasing on the bar now as we start to see the real contenders enter the competition. And this is Russian Albina Kumic, fourth in the European Championship. She lifted 92.5 in Rome, so 90 kilos on paper at least ought to be fairly straightforward, if that's at all possible.
Well, look fairly straightforward from here.
Nice flow to that lift. Really just one lovely movement. Never really stopped moving on the whole lift. It just continued.
Yes, technically almost perfect. Just a little step forward there at the end.
The drive continuing on the second phase there. So she gets 92.5 kilos. And the first appearance now of Ruth Ogbefo of Nigeria. But 90 kilos on the bar, surely a mistake, having lifted 92.5. That doesn't seem a possibility to me, because you can't go down, you can only go up. And Ruth had entered 90 as her opening weight, so I'm a bit mystified about why that was up there in the first place. David?
Well, 90 kilos on the bar at the moment, but yes, she's obviously taking more, because Kerio is coming in for 90 kilos on her third attempt.
Well, I'm just wondering whether Komic actually did lift 92.5 kilos. I must admit, I didn't look closely at the bar. I was checking on the
no, just looking at the
marker
bar,
sheet.
It's 90 kilos.
Right, so just to correct the position, Albina Komic would have lifted 90 kilos for her first lift, and our apologies for the confusion.
Yes, but as you say, the Nigerian girl obviously wanting more than 90 kilos.
I think just to look at the bar, really, won't it?
Yes. I think the name's going to change again.
Well, a lot of tactical discussions going on, and now at 92.5 kilos, we see Maria Takac for the first time. Well, here is the lady who came in late, but what a late entry she is, the European champion. At 92.5 kilos, the weight she lifted in Rome.
And that's something you don't see very often. She split under the bar instead of squatting. Most lifters now use the squat technique, because if you look as she splits, she only actually goes into a half squat position. So anybody using the split technique will have to be higher, and that means a reduction in the weight that you're able to lift. So she's obviously very strong to be able to lift with a technique that doesn't really give her any advantages.
Paniota Antonopoulou for Greece. Pretty experienced lifter, also at 92.5. Oh, nicely controlled. Established that bottom position, and then when she was ready, moved up very smoothly.
That's right, and an extremely fast pull. Just look at that first phase of the movement. Really an explosive woman.
Those fast twitch muscles that
those
lifters
fast
need.
twitch fibers.
Yeah, fast twitch fibers, I should say, that all lifters need.
I have to find somebody to translate to those people sitting at the table beside that.
So 92.5, the world record, just to remind you. There's our Nigerian, just a quick shot of her. It looks as if she's going to make her first appearance now at 95. Well, we know little of her. We know that she's 19. And this, her first World Championships. I was just about to say, does she have the technique to go with the strength?
Well, didn't pull that high enough, but doesn't seem too unhappy about the lift.
Now Albina Komic, 95 kilos for her.
Yes, and she's got a very smooth technique. And again, a perfect lift.
Lovely continuous movement, as she did on the first lift. And it's getting quite competitive now. of these lifters, David, not worrying about the world record, just concentrating on trying to get the gold medal.
Yes, nobody really looks capable of threatening the 105 kilo world record.
So 95 for her. That just about equals her, well, it does in fact equal her best for the season so far. Now Ruth Ogbefield back on stage. That's actually not Pagnotta for Greece. Scoreboard having trouble keeping up. They're really whipping on and off the stage. Oh, nicely above the head this time.
Yes, as you said earlier, strength again, not the problem. It's a good first phase. Pulled the bar very high.
But that miss at 95 first time around, that could prove expensive. It just limits the options. She's only got one more lift. And at the moment, Pagnotta, here she comes, 92.5, and she's going to go up to 97.5, and she's just tactically working 2.5 kilos above the rest.
Yes, if you remember, it's a very fast 92.5. Well, an equally fast 97.5, but this time it came down almost as fast as it went up.
Indeed. Let's have a look at the... I thought she would establish this all of a sudden, and then...
Yeah, it's just relaxed in the second phase, that bottom position.
Just almost really let it go.
Yes, you really need to keep your concentration for the whole movement. The lift really isn't over until...
And so on to the 76 kilo category. And Albina Komic of Russia. This, her third lift, just 18 years of age. Fourth in the European Championships. And an excellent third lift. Just steadied after the initial phase, putting the bar overhead, and then just drove up. Good enough to take the gold medal. So to the jerk. And Maria Takac, the first of two sisters in the ship. Silver medalist in the snatch behind Albina. And no problem for the 28-year-old Hungarian. Not the most perfect of technique, but good enough to give her the advantage. So to Pagnotta Antonopoulou, moving down from the 83 kilo cat. In the European Championships, she weighed in at just over the 76 kilo mark. But here attempting 127.5. And the extra kilos there giving her not only the clean and jerk gold, but also the overall world championship. The gold to Antonopoulou, the silver to Maria Takac, with the bronze medal going to Albina Komic of Russia. Chinese domination broken, but fair to say the Chinese not competing in this category. Something of a surprise. So to the 83 kilo category, in which the Chinese were very present. On stage now for her second snatch. This is Germany's Monique Riesterer, 6th in the world rankings, just 23, although she's been lifting for 6 or 7 years, so she's quite experienced. Establishes the position low and gets a second good lift. The German camp in good spirits, with Mark Huster's gold medals and also Ingo Steenhoffel. Now, Derte Akigorks, Turkish women yet to win a medal in these championships, but this young woman, and she's only 17, in with a chance. Third attempt, and it's good. It's 100 kilos. And that just might be good enough for a medal, probably the bronze. And her body weight lower at 77.72 than most of the other competitors, so she's got a little bit of an advantage over most of the field. Just 7 in today's 83 kilo final, which is just over 13 stone. Now here is the world champion, Shushi Shen, perhaps a little bit fortunate to win last year when her major Chinese opponent was injured. But that would be a little unkind to her, and that's a good lift at 105 kilos to take the lead. Her second attempt, and there's only really one competitor now who can deny her the gold medal. Maria Isabel Urrutia from Colombia. Colombia yet to get a medal at these championships. In fact, she'd be the first South American. Oh, she's excellent, really. One smooth move, 105 kilos, and she's now in the lead, 81.64 kilos compared to 82.5. And that, at the end of the day, proved to be good enough to give the gold medal, with Chen the silver and the young Turk Akigos the bronze. So to the clean and jerk. Chance for the lifter from Taipei to take her revenge, particularly with no Chinese to trouble her, but the world champion under pressure. This her second lift at 130.5 kilos. And finally getting the bar steady and above her head for 3 white lights. So a new world record for Chen. She smiles, she delighted, and rightfully so. Really drives up here. But looking as if there's not a great deal more left in the tank. For Urrutia, though, from Colombia, 132.5 to take 3 gold medals, snatch, clean and jerk, and the overall title. And with it, world records. Very solid, very confident. And the lady who treats weightlifting as her second sport finds herself a triple world champion. Just establishes the bar and then chucks it with great confidence and straight above her head, brings the right leg forward, and that's a really good lift. True athlete. And Urrutia maybe will now treat weightlifting as her first sport. So to the over 83 kilo category, the only category in women's weightlifting where you have to be over the prescribed weight. Over 30 stone or 182 pounds. Li Dan of China. This her third attempt for 107.5 and a new world record. And Li Dan absolutely cruising. Li Dan taking the gold. The silver in the category going to Carolina Lundahl, the Finnish shot putter, and the bronze to Britain's Myrtle Orgi. So to the clean and jerk in this women's category. And Li Dan loving this, playing to the crowd, really enjoying it. Clean and jerk, a world record, 135 she's trying now. Third lift, and there it is. It's no world record, but Li Dan's got a second and a third gold medal to give China 18 gold medals in the women's division, just to underline their dominance of the sport. The Chinese women holding every major world record in women's weightlifting. Li Dan to finish off the show in style. Really positive lift. And look at the strength as she puts it over her head.